Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Football Family Feuds, and in today's video I'll be talking about Jadon Sancho, Hudson-Odoi, Cucurella, Telles, Hakimi and Willian. So I hope you enjoy. Before I get into the video, please like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications so that you'll be notified whenever I make a new video. So jumping into the first story, it's the Sancho one, and it's the name who's been on everybody's lips, whether you're a Chelsea supporter or Manchester United supporter. There's been a tug of war going on between the two clubs, and depending on what journalist you most believe, one moment he's going for Chelsea, next he's for Manchester United, then he's flip-flopping to Chelsea, Manchester United, Chelsea, Manchester United, round and round and round and round and round. But today, I think it was the Telegraph or one of the newspapers reported something that he has agreed, wait for it, a mind-blowing £400,000 a week contract to join Manchester United. Yeah, that wasn't, you heard me, turn it up. I said £400,000 a week. If these reports are true, and I don't quite believe them at the moment, but you never know with Manchester United, because Manchester United are a desperate team, really desperate to get back on that top table, and they'll do anything they can to try and compete again with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But they've already thrown away £400,000 on Alexis Sanchez. So you'll have Sanchez and Sancho. So two people, beginning with San. I wish my surname began with San actually. And these two players, if he does go, and if he is going for 400,000, these two players are going to be on a combined salary of 200,000 less than $1 million a week. Yeah, because Sancho and Sanchez will both be on £400,000 a week. That's £800,000 for two players. If that's the case, I'm sorry, Manchester United, that is irresponsible and desperate. Because if you look at what's happening at the moment in football, there are teams we do not even know whether they are going to be still existing after this disaster with the coronavirus. Some teams are struggling to pay the wages of their players. Even Juventus, who are a top Italian type team, I heard that they ask their players to take a 20% pay reduction, and including the manager as well, until all this coronavirus stuff is over. And yet you got Manchester United willing to pay £400,000 for one player. Crazy, crazy, crazy if you ask me. That 400,000 for the week, that could pay a second tier team for the month, I reckon, for their players. And this guy wants it for the week. I'll be disappointed in Sancho if he is going for money ahead of ambition, because if it's just money he wants, is he going to get as far in the game because you think you've already made it? I don't think he should be on 400,000 at the age of, he's a special talent, but having that sort of money at that age is just ridiculous. And sometimes when you're on that sort of money, it kind of you lose your edge. You know, you saw it with Sanchez when they're big money. He wasn't the same player as he was at Arsenal. And what it also does, what sort of message does it send to the other players? Rashford is around, and with his next contract, he sees himself as probably the top boy at Manchester United. He'll want parity. And then you can have Pogba, if he stays, wanting similar. They bought Bruno Fernandes. I'm not sure what he's 350 is he getting? I don't know what he's getting. But it's going to drive it up and up and up in the wage bracket, and it's just going to be ridiculous. So you're going to have a lot of disarming it in the camp. I saw somebody today post a team which included Rashford, Sancho, and who was the other guy up front? I can't remember who the other guy. Oh, because Harry Kane is the other guy who Tottenham are looking at. So they had Rashford, Kane, and Sancho in a strike force 3, which is quite frightening. And they had a decent midfield as well. And they said something like Chelsea stand no chance against this lineup. But as good as the lineup is, players go some way to winning matches, so you need good players to win football, that's obvious, but tactics as well. So sometimes you need players who are going to gel and play in a system. It's not all about just getting the best 11 players sometimes and saying, look, play together. It's all about finding the right dynamics within a team. So if these are the numbers that are to be quoted, then I was there well clear. But as I said, this is only rumours at the moment. There's nothing concrete about this because Fabrizio Romano, the respected Italian journalist, came out today and I'll read his tweet for you. It says, BVB message to all clubs who have asked for Sancho: we don't change the price after coronavirus crisis and will not sell him for less than £110 million. Manchester United are in contact with the agent, but BVB have not received any official bid yet, so it won't be a quick deal. So all those premature things that he's definitely signed, it's a done deal. There's not such thing as a done deal until the papers have been signed. So I don't think, if he's asking for that, if it's true that he's asking for, I'm not sure if it's him asking for that sort of money or Manchester United are offering him that money to fend away all the competitors. But if he is getting his head turned by that sort of money, then Chelsea should walk away from that sort of deal, because you can't be playing one player that sort of wages. It just upsets the whole balance for the rest of the team, and money can be spent elsewhere. Let me know what you think. Do you think we should, Manchester United, for that sort of money, they're welcome to him, or would you still want to get him even if it means paying that sort of wage? And staying with Sancho, I just want to say, I just compare him again to our lad Callum Hudson-Odoi, because football is all about opportunity. A lot of people are saying that Sancho, going mad over Sancho. Some people were literally crying today when they thought that it was a done deal to Manchester United. But with the right opportunities, Callum Hudson-Odoi has the ability to get up to the levels of Sancho. I mentioned it in a video what I'd done earlier, and I stick with it. Football is about opportunities and taking the opportunities at the right time. A bit of luck as well, and a bit of fortune. You know, Sancho and Hudson-Odoi, the differences between them is Sancho he went over to Dortmund, got the minutes. Hudson-Odoi got injured, got a bad injury, and had to reset his career. So that's the difference. I can guarantee you, if the tables were turned, if Sancho was a youth product at Chelsea, Hudson-Odoi was at Manchester United, Manchester City, and Hudson-Odoi was the one who went over to Dortmund. Sancho stayed at Chelsea. Then Hudson-Odoi goes over there and starts banging in like insane numbers of goals and assists. Sancho had a bad injury, wasn't played by the managers, came into the side, looked decent, then had a bad injury that put his career on hold for a little bit. Then I can guarantee you people will be waxing lyrical about Hudson-Odoi like what they're doing about Sancho now, and saying this is the player that we should be signing. So we need to stay patient with who we have in our team, because we've got somebody, in my opinion, can be just as talented as Sancho, but only time will tell. If I said to you there was a player a couple of years ago, a striker, who was playing for Dortmund and he scored 7 goals in 10 games, people would say, who's this striker? We need to buy him. That striker, guys, is someone we got in our club, and it's Batshuayi. He went over there in the Bundesliga and looked like a world beater for the first 10 games that he played. I think he got an injury which sort of slowed down his progression at Dortmund. German league, I'm not dismissing, I'm not one of these guys who dismisses other leagues like the Bundesliga and everything else. It's a top quality league, but it's easier to score in that league, because if you look at the way the goals, it's very open games of football in the Bundesliga. I've watched a few Bundesliga games this year. Defences are not as tight as they are in the Premiership. The emphasis is more on scoring goals, so they leave a lot of spaces for you to attack into. You don't have many teams playing that sort of low blocked in Germany. Most teams, even the smaller teams, try and attack. So Sancho's figures, as mind-boggling as they are, and you know, you've got to take into account the league that he's playing in and once he plays in the Premier League. I'm not saying that he's going to flop. I think he'll still be good over here. But the stats here, I'm not sure if he's going to be pulling off similar stats. If he does, yeah, then fair play to him. So that's another thing to look out for. Time will tell. Anyway, moving on to my next story, and I'm talking about Telles. Apparently there's a story in today's Ebola, and it's saying that Chelsea are gonna, because they were looking at that Cucurella as well, and they've kind of agreed to stop their pursuit in Cucurella, and which would allow Porto to go for Cucurella and then open the door for Chelsea to then buy Telles. Smart play by Chelsea there by having that link with Cucurella. Probably weren't interested in him in the first place, but by putting it out there that they wanted him, knowing that Telles doesn't want to sign a contract extension, it may be Chelsea are saying to them, look, we won't pursue our supposed interest in Cucurella if you allow us to have a smooth deal with Telles. So I think there's a little bit of negotiation tactics going on there by Marina and the rest of the Chelsea board there. So pretty smart by Chelsea. So it's not going away, this Telles story. Ebola, as I said, is one of the more reputable papers in Portugal, and they are constantly reporting on our interest, and there's no smoke without fire. So it looks like it's Telles is the guy who will probably be getting. And there's another fullback that we've been linked with, and it's he plays for Real Madrid. He's the Moroccan Hakimi. He's predominantly a right back, but he can also play as left back. But similar to Azpilicueta in that he's not left-footed, but he can play there. But he's stronger on his right foot, so when he crosses the ball, he's got to sort of cut back and cross it with his right rather than cross it with his weaker left foot. He's currently playing for Dortmund, and he looks an exciting prospect. And if you look at comparing with Trent Alexander-Arnold at Liverpool, same age, and he's got remarkably similar stats to this guy. If you look at the stats, what I'm putting up there, he's played a few less games, but the same amount of goals, 2 and 10 assists of this season. I've looked at some of his play. He looks like an intelligent player. He can slide the ball through. He can cross. His crossing is good, low crosses or high whipped crosses. He looks like an industrious player. He's more hard working and skill. He's not that skillful, I'll say. He's quick. He'll beat his man by knocking the ball past him and using his pace to get past him, get around him that way. And he's quite direct. He likes to whip the ball in as soon as he's got to the byline. And but where does that leave Reece James? Because obviously he plays on the right, the same as Reece James. Maybe they're going to be phasing out Azpilicueta, and Reece James is quite young still, so maybe they don't want to play Reece James in all the matches, so sort of rotate between him and Hakimi if the reports are correct. And maybe sometimes move Reece James into the middle. We saw him play in the middle before, and he looks quite adept as a central midfielder as well. So that's one to look out for. The fee being quoted is 45 million. He's on loan, as I said, to Dortmund at the moment, but Dortmund do not have an option to buy. There was another report that I read that said that Real Madrid want to extend Hakimi's they want to extend his contract for another 5 years, but maybe it's similar to what happened with Morata, where they'll extend the contract, make it a bit longer so that they can get more money for him if they want to sell him on in the summer. So are you excited by him? Would you like him? Any Moroccan followers I got here or subscribers, let us know what you think of this boy and whether he's worth the hype. And finally, I'm going to talk about Willian for a couple of minutes, because Willian, they've been in the news again. He's been linked with Barcelona for about the 60th time in his career. This won't go away, so Barcelona know that they can pick him up on a free transfer now, so they're looking at him. But the report goes on to say that he wants to stay in London, and it's looking more and more likely that he's going to be reunited with Tottenham manager Jose Mourinho, because Jose Mourinho's been speaking about him as well recently. I can't see him signing a new contract at Chelsea now. It's gone too late. It's too late in the day for that. I personally think he's agreed a deal with Mourinho some time back, and they're just waiting to announce it. But don't be surprised to see him rocking up in one of these colour shirts come the season, whenever it starts, whether it's August, September, or whenever next season, if we do start the season, depending on whether the coronavirus has disappeared by then, hopefully it will be. So that's it, guys. That's my wrap up for today. Let me know your thoughts below about the Sancho thing, the Hudson-Odoi thing, the Cucurella, Tellez, Hakimi, all those stories. Be interesting to read your comments. Interested to read all your comments to see what you think. Don't forget, as I keep saying, guys, keep clean, stay safe, and keep that blue flag flying high. And I'll see you on the next video.